former Razorback, former Packer. We got a lot of things to get to with him this morning. Brett, I know you were watching the basketball game last night. Just kind of give us a sense of what that victory meant. I know that Arkansas has not only struggled in Gainesville and basketball, but football too. How did it feel for you last night watching Arkansas achieve something that they haven't since 1995?
Well, it was great. You see what our football team did, and we had our record in bowl games in Florida, and our basketball team, we've always struggled down there. And so when you go down there and win a tight ball game, that's great for our ball club because, we're not always going to be able to play Bud Walton. We know that moving forward into the NCAA tournament, so we've got to learn to win those type of games. Just coming out victorious, it was big for the guys and big for, just to keep the momentum going.
Brett, I wonder your vantage point on this. The three atmospheres up there in Fayetteville: Baum-Walker Stadium, Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, and Bud Walton Arena. You got to play in one of them in 2006 and other years as well, and I remember how hyped that USC game was, and I guess was that 07 or 06, Tommy, that they played at home?
USC game was 06.
Okay, that they played at home, and I know you got to be there for that. We've seen Bud Walton. I know that you've been to a game or two this season. We've seen Baum-Walker. In your opinion, what is the most, rank those three atmospheres at home for how deafening and how impactful they are for each program?
Well, for each sport in particular, if you saw Donald W., it's obviously loud and everybody's around. We saw the Texas game, the atmosphere around tailgating. Then you go to the Auburn game, and it's probably going to be more electric even this weekend against Kentucky. And I sat this last weekend. I sat at that Max, the bases loaded, that new area that JB and John Hunt built, and it's phenomenal. And you think of moving forward with a regional and a super regional, to get that type of capacity into a stadium for each sport is huge because it's at the top of each sport. You have Donald W. probably doesn't sell out as many as some of the other stadiums, Happy Valley and all those other places, but just the atmosphere around, and you kind of get that momentum going. And the crowd, the great thing about Arkansas is, we've talked about this. This is our professional sport. This is our professional team that everybody's backing them. And so it's almost like we have three professional sports that everybody can go attend. And when we're good, like we've been the last couple of years, it's even more exciting.
When you look at this basketball team and this season, a couple of things stick out to me. You followed up on last year, which there's still chapters to be written in this book, but it has not turned out to be a huge letdown this year compared to you went to the Elite Eight and wasn't a flash in the pan. I guess you've defined that. Secondly, you lose 5 of 6, and I'm sure you've been in some spots where some rough stretches have come along, and then you turn it around. That, to me, what goes into that, Brett? Because that's the amazing thing about this team that lost 5 of 6 and now have reeled off 12 of 13. It's quite a turnaround within a season. In your experience, what does it take within the locker room and with the coaching staff to create an environment that's seen this kind of turnaround?
Well, it's great for the teams. Basketball and baseball, they're able to have these streaks like this and then kind of get on a roll and really take some momentum like that and carry it on into the playoffs and have a chance to make some noise. And that's what's great is you see the growth of our team. We've now locked down, a starting 5 pretty much, and we've got into this rotation and we've kept it consistent depending on foul trouble and everything else that we're going through. And when we do have guys go down, that's what's been kind of spectacular the last few games. We've had some guys not playing minutes because of foul trouble, and other guys are stepping up and they're making shots in that moment. And you can just see them feeding off each other. And that's going to be big going into the SEC tournament and going on to March Madness to try and make a big run.
Is it more special for you watching Jalen Williams, knowing that he graduated from the same high school you went to? Y'all are both Northside Grizzlies. Does that add anything to it for you, watching him, knowing that y'all played at the same school?
Well, it's definitely special because, anytime you can have somebody that comes from the same school and get to play at Arkansas, and then he's going to have an opportunity to go on to the NBA. We all know that, and it's special. It's a small group of guys, but Northside has still produced quite a few professional athletes. So it's special to watch him and see his growth. And then you see, the commentators last night talking about, how big he is and how he can dish the ball off like a point guard. And he would probably have more assists in every game that he's played if some guys made some shots. So he's able to pass the ball around. He's unselfish, and that's the type of guy that you want on your team.
Brett Goode with us here on the Morning Rush. Brett, the gambling law that got approved yesterday, it's going to happen 10 days right before March Madness. Now, you played. I don't know if gambling was a big issue back in kind of the early 2000s, but I wonder from your vantage point and perspective, playing in both a college and professional locker room, is that going to seep in to college sports where you might see some players and coaches being involved that the NCAA doesn't want to see happen whatsoever?
I don't think so. Look, we've all known somebody in our family or, distant cousin that's had a bookie. I mean, it's been around for so long. The people that go out to Vegas, I think that, if anything, the NIL changes that a little bit. But it's going to be more money to the sport, and it's going to grow the sport. We all know what fantasy football did to the NFL. It really made that sport, just kind of take off. And now you're going to, make it more accessible for people to make some bets on these March Madnesses. And you're making it legal now, so you're actually going to get a little bit of revenue, taxes probably from this. So I think it's great to continue to grow it. Just hopefully people are doing the right thing. And, if you don't have the money to do it, hopefully you're not spending your electric bill on it.
Brett, the two big quarterback storylines have been about your former teammate Aaron Rodgers and then Tom Brady. I want to ask you this. Tom Brady announcing his retirement. There's rumblings, there's thoughts that he could be coming out. I know Mike Florio thinks if he does come out, he's going to be playing for San Francisco. Is he done?
It's such a hard deal. I mean, you look back at what Brett Favre did, and nobody wants to go through the offseason right now. Look, especially when you've played 22 seasons, you're going into the 23rd. Aaron's going into his 18th season. That's a long time to be sitting and grinding out these off seasons when you know what you're doing, you know how to keep your body right. I don't think Tom's done. I think that he's getting that bitter taste in his mouth to go out the way he did. I think he's ready to come back, but that's all going to be a family and a personal decision, health-wise, to see how his body feels, kind of as he recovers through this process. And so it'll be interesting to see. I think Tom will probably be back. If not this year, he may be back next year. That's the crazy part.
Aaron Rodgers is a friend of yours from your playing days in Green Bay. What is he going to do? I know he's kind of sent out some cryptic tweets and whatever. What are you reading into this right now?
He's an interesting fellow. I love him to death because he gets on yesterday. He talks about his 12-day cleanse, and I don't know if you guys have read in that Panchayat Karma cleanse or whatever. It's pretty intense from what I read, and I think he's the same position. I think that at the end of the day, his best chances to get back to a Super Bowl is probably through Green Bay. They're going to have to figure out some cap stuff. They've got a lot of issues they've got to work through. But again, why does he have to come out and say anything right now? I think that's just he's not going to come out and just really go. I think that we'll know something by the draft. But I think, again, he wants to play and he wants to try and win another ring.
Is he a guy that likes to send out a tweet and kind of stir things up and create drama? Is that him, or is that a misread on what he's doing here?
I think that's a little bit of a misread. Buddy John Kuhn said on his radio show in Wisconsin yesterday, talking about, Aaron, doesn't have any kids, doesn't have anything. This is right now in the off season. This is where you're sitting around going, okay, what are we going to do? What's going on? What can we do? And he, he likes his 4 fingers of scotch, and so he gets on there and writes a little bit, and it's all about love. And then you read into it and go a little deeper, even on his photos. There's one photo when he was out with COVID. Devontae and Randall left his spot there on the field. And I think it's just emotional as you kind of get through the season, knowing that, the teammates are not going to be there, and there's going to be parts and pieces that move with each team. And that's, there's a lot of love and family and brotherhood that you go through that time, so it's tough.
When you go through a tough breakup, which he's been through, you pour your little scotch. Sometimes your fingers get carried away with the phone, I guess.
That's true, and I don't know if you caught it yesterday. So there's a lot of rumors going on that she was there. Or there's girls laughing in the background. So I mean, you just never know, and I think that's part of the way that he's trying to live. Is I wouldn't want my whole personal life to be on display as much as his has been, and every celebrity like that. And so you don't really get a closed personal life. So if you can kind of mess with the media a little bit, it's all fun and games.
Yeah. All right, before you go, I want to talk to you because we'll be talking a lot more about this, but just a quick thought or two is we're just a few weeks away from spring practice beginning, going through the off-season workouts. What's kind of going on behind the scenes from your experience with Razorback football that is just under a month away from spring practice beginning?
Well, this is where you want to see guys, really take that next step. You want to see if they've really hit the weight room hard. We know there's going to be a lot of them that have. You want to see that growth that they've had and just coming together as a team even more. Offense and defensive line, we know that that's where it starts in the SEC, and that's going to be a big key is, or can we protect KJ, and can we, keep our running game going and vice versa on the defensive side? Who's going to take those places, those spots where we've slacked a little bit, get pressure on the quarterback and be able to, maybe get some sacks and control the run game to take the pressure off our linebackers and our D-backs on the defensive side. So it's going to be very interesting to see this growth moving forward.
Looking forward to those conversations coming up in early to mid-March as spring practice less than a month away here at Arkansas. Brett Goode, former Razorback, Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Brett, now you're the specialist when it comes to taking care of employee benefits. Tell everybody what's important right now is going through renewal processes for some businesses, looking for better deals in the marketplaces for many others.
It is, and it's really trying to, just getting things, even on the short-term, long-term disability, getting those companies to fight against each other to give you the best rate, and trying to make the best, get a game plan for the best benefit package for your employees and trying to get some new ones. So it's a tough market right now, but, anywhere 2 to 2,000, and, we even have some 1099 programs for a lot of companies out there that do that as well.
All right, employee benefits, health insurance, staffing management solutions, even personal and commercial insurance. Brett can help you with any of those items. 651-2292 is his number, 479-651-2292. Stay safe out there during this winter blast, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff from Brett as always.
It might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.